What has this got under the hood?
Well, it's got a V6. Good in there.
Didn't even kill it, dude, like a pro. You didn't even have to ride the clutch.
I learned on a clutch.
Do you miss sounds a little bit?
Can you record this and then maybe just do like a speaker to myself?
What do you call the new car smell in a Tesla?
Success.
And Elon Musk, of course. Make it better. Hi guys, this is my good friend Josh, colleague.
Hola.
Josh actually hired me at a previous company. And a good friend, I've had to work with him for a lot of years. Josh, you drive a Tesla, but what Tesla do you drive?
Model 3 Performance.
Nice. And is that like the fastest one that you can get?
Yeah. We're not messing. We don't have roll-up windows around here, okay? Come on.
I love it. So Josh is going to be driving my Camaro 2SS 1LE today, just sharing his impressions, sharing his thoughts. I'm going to warn you, though, it's going to make sounds that you're not used to hearing. So
yeah.
Hopefully you're ready for that.
Hashtag let's go to jail. Not go to jail.
I'm actually convinced that if Josh and I were friends in high school, I probably think both of us, we wouldn't be where we're at today. Let's just say that.
Here's to not making bad decisions.
Here's to not making bad decisions. But Josh is a good friend, lives out by me. I'll share some B-roll clips of his car, but what we want to do today is really just have him drive it, get his impressions driving it. And honestly, dude, you can tell me, hey, I hate this, I don't like this. Like, I try and be real with these guys, so whatever you see, you're not going to hurt my feelings.
I forget what an exhaust sounds like. So this might be weird. I might think I'm in a snowblower or something.
Okay, I have a small confession. I printed out some Tesla jokes, so we're going to read a few Tesla jokes as we're driving.
All right. Giddy up.
Yeah, looking forward to that. But anyways, he's going to drive the car. He's going to let us know what he thinks. I also am going to ask him maybe his opinions about like the electric car movement and just kind of where all the manufacturers are going. But Josh, a good dude. He'll tell it to us straight, but let's jump into it. All right. Okay. Well, fire up. There, Tater Chip. So, go through a couple things here.
There's some weird noise.
What are
those sounds?
What is that? I'm not used to that.
Oh my gosh.
So this has
the cops already here?
Pretty much, they will be. So this has a performance data recorder. So whenever this thing decides to load,
I haven't driven a stick in so long.
Didn't we drive a Camaro together in Seattle or something? It was an automatic though, right?
That was when we did like 100.
See, look at this. It'll record me as I drive. I see
a
little Mustang.
That's
cool. Mustang for lunch. That was on the way over here. So I'm gonna start that because it actually picks up the sound in the car.
That's cool.
But then you got like all the ambient lights and different stuff. You know, over here, changes in the doors, changes it here, changes it over there. You have your heads-up display, so you can adjust that if you want. If that's like, you know, is it good? Can you see it?
It's down low. How do I bring it up?
I think you just lift up on one of the buttons over there, on the very far where it says like HUD. Do you see where it says HUD?
Yeah.
That lifted up.
Still. Oh no, I guess I want it down. There we go.
Okay, got it.
Interesting. So it's got to be a.
Yeah. So you're in sport.
G-force measurement.
Yeah. So here, I'll take off the park brake. So yeah, you're good to go whenever, dude.
Are you good that my head's not fully in the?
I don't care as long as you're fine with it. You know.
Dude, this is.
So, you do have this camera that is like it's a live shot out the back of your car.
I like that.
So, yeah.
Let's go.
Didn't even kill it, dude, like a pro. You didn't even have to ride the clutch.
I learned on a clutch.
Yeah.
Learned on a 92 Civic.
Didn't you used to be a vacuum salesman too?
Yeah. Selling door-to-door vacuums and stuff.
Have you been in a commercial before?
Actually, it's so funny you bring that up. I don't like to be the one that brings it up. But, yes.
But since you're talking about it.
Nothing like a good college degree for a college that's going bankrupt. But look at me now. It's great. Everything's great. It's all great.
I love it. So, this has track tires on it. So, technically we shouldn't be driving this car in this. There you go.
Woo. Oh my gosh, bro.
miss sounds a little bit?
Can we record this and then maybe just do like a speaker in my exhaust?
Well, that's, I think, what a lot of manufacturers are trying to do.
It is. I looked at a bunch of cars before I got the Tesla because I was happy with my little 250 horse Beamer, but finding the speakers in some of the exhausts, I went, nope, purely out of principle.
Yeah.
Won't do it.
So you have auto rev match, so if you flick that on, so shift to third, now shift down to second. So it revs up the speed of the, transmission to it basically, yeah, so you don't have to like heel toe downshift like a lot of people used to do where they'd blurb the throttle, so that way when you shift into it there's like no lag.
It's kind of hard to tell when you're slipping. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing.
I can tell usually. You've slipped most through most of your accelerations. I usually, like, if you're 30 or 40 and punch it, then you're usually pretty good. Like right here, it might a little bit, but you should probably be fine.
Okay. Yeah, it feels like it's slipping, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's safer. It's safe, kids. It's safe. Come tell your parents.
All right, I got some jokes for you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I found these off of a kid's website. I even printed it on paper, so it's official. What do you call the new car smell in a Tesla?
Success.
And Elon Musk, of course. They get better. Why is a Tesla Cybertruck faster than a Ferrari?
Because it's from the future.
It renders faster. Those polygons, Elon.
Ooh, I hope it gets better from here.
They're getting worse. If Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink started a band, what would it be called? The Three Musketeers.
Oh, see, that's pretty good.
Did you know that Tesla partnered with Microsoft to make a new electric car?
Is it called Teams?
But they seem to have problem installing Windows. All right, I will borrow more of those.
I do miss the sound of exhaust. I'm not gonna lie.
What about driving a manual? Do you miss that at all?
No, I've never been a manual guy because there's always that fear of like, okay, I'm on this hill. It's a little wet outside.
Yeah.
Am I gonna go brake gas? So no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't miss the manual, but I think if you're willing to give up the manual, then you gotta have a couple other 100 horse more.
Yep.
To do what you want to do with it,
Well, and autos are so much faster in how they shift, than a manual.
Yeah. Love this. Is this exhaust stock?
It is stock, yeah.
Wow.
And isn't that crazy? Like that was like when I drove it, and it like
This is no Chevy Cavalier.
it's not Chevy Cavalier.
It's fast, but it's not like, oh, I slip around in second, I slip around in third. Like
and if it were summertime where these tires actually need to be driven, it would hook really well. I think, and you would probably have a better idea. I think your car, off like a dead launch, you would leave me in the dust by like a long, long, long ways. But I think if we were going like 60 or 70 and did some rolls, I actually think I might be able to take it.
I lose my curve after like 60 or 70. I don't have a ton there.
Well, most men lose their curve after 60 or 70. My undershirt, whatever. I don't know what they.
Cutoffs.
I don't know what to call. What are those tank tops? What do you call those? You used to call them wife beaters, but
no, we call them tank tops.
Tank tops. My tank tops. I'll cut that out. I'm sure. We'll see.
Sounds so pretty. How many tickets have you got?
None so far.
Oh boy. Okay, let's go back to second.
Yeah, none so far.
Jeez.
But I'm sure I'm due for one, and when I get one, I have a feeling it's.
Have you had any like close calls where you're like, I could take this corner at 90? And you start to feel it like walk a little bit?
I don't know if I'm that aggressive, but I've gone some aggressive speeds in it. I mean, the thing that's cool about these cars, and you can go take it somewhere else, is just how it like corners and handles, because like you can take a corner 90, 100 miles an hour, and it feels.
I feel like they got the center of gravity really good.
Okay, how do you feel like? Do you feel like you're driving a coffin right now, or like that's the biggest knock that people have?
What do you mean?
Like on Camaros, like your visibility is horrible. Like it's just like, tell me your thoughts on.
The visibility isn't great. I love visibility. I don't have a lot of it.
Where do you feel it's like lacking? Because you have this. Like, is it just?
I don't. I don't feel like I know what's going on around me. But I mean, I say that, and like I look in the mirrors, and it's not bad. You got this rear view thing, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And I guess when nobody's gonna catch you, why do you need to look behind you anyway? Is that the deal?
Can we put that on a T-shirt? Because that's gold, man.
That's honestly
awesome.
like that's my favorite part of the Tesla is that like I'm so accustomed to look left, from driver's ed and be worried about, and I'm like, why? Just go. Right?
I mean, I use my blind spots like monitoring system like religiously. Like I never look over my shoulder. I have this, I have those, but I think after time you get used to it. Does it feel stiff? Does it feel like compared to your Tesla? Does it feel
I actually think
comfortable?
the suspension's a little more forgiving here.
Okay.
That's my only like knock maybe on the Tesla is that it's good on grip and performance and cornering, but you don't absorb a lot of the shock as much as you might in other cars. But
Got it.
for being performance and grip, it still does it gives you a little bit of suspension love in there.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
I
and
didn't expect.
so this has the Magna ride control, but it is their more stiffer setup. This is essentially a track focused Camaro. It's got stiffer sway bars, just how they kind of structure it. So
That's
that's
very well
interesting.
put together. It's no Chevy Cavalier. I'll give you that.
It's not. I'm trying to think. So, dude, tell me your thoughts on like electric cars and like, do you think like internal combustion engines will like completely go away, or do you think it's all going to go electric? Like, what do you think?
So for the record, when I bought the Tesla, I was not looking at buying a Tesla. And, while I love the environment and all that good stuff, I envisioned myself just one day buying and building out a 69 Chevelle with a 396 or putting something in it and supercharging it and just going, or maybe even all-wheel driving it. And that was performance. I was always a car guy. I was a car mechanic.
Yep.
After and before the vacuum sales. Here we go, kids.
His work history just gets better and better.
Life success is not linear.
He's actually a senior VP now, so he started from the bottom. Now we here, baby.
Right? My buddy Drake said it best. So I think I had a Hyundai Sonata, dumped that, and got a little Beamer, and I was happy, and I loved it, and it was 250 horse, and it was all-wheel drive, and everything was great. A buddy of mine had a Tesla. We went and took a drive, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hooked. All the tech in this car is great. Oh, and it's really, really fast. And so I went out, did all the research, and I watched this video. And it was this video that Elon did with his head of AI and neuro and all this stuff, or the neural network, and put them all in a room and brought all of the world's greatest engineers. And he said, throw anything you want at me, any technology question, any engineering question, whatever, and we'll tell you everything that we have. So anyway, it was interesting to hear they kind of got to a spot with the technology where the NVIDIA graphics processors they were using just weren't fast enough to make autonomous decisions. And, is this a person? Is this a dog? What a car? What is it? A house? To make a routing decision. And so they essentially built everything from the ground up. They redid their chips. They redid everything. And so it was so cool to see that process. And so it was when they went through all that and they asked all these questions. And if you think about it, it is feeding data back into the network to help them make better, more intelligent decisions and how they can make autonomous driving more reliable and safer and blah, blah, blah. And so at that point, I think they had maybe something like, 500,000 cars or 250,000 cars on the road feeding back data. And he said, but Elon, aren't you worried about all the secrets that you're kind of giving out here, to the broader audience? And he said, listen, first of all, I'm aware of the competition, but there's nobody doing what we're doing. And by the time we do what we do in what we've got planned in the 2 to 3 year mark, we'll be 3-4 years past everybody. So our technology is so far out. And so that's kind of when I went, oh my gosh, a lot of the automotive industry is really, really complacent. And so I went, and it was funny. My wife was the one, after seeing all the research, was like, are you gonna click buy or what? And so I was like, oh, she's in. Jeez. So yeah, went out, picked it out, and done deal, man. Ordered it, and best decision I ever made. But did it for the tech, and the performance.
Well, what's cool, I think, like, you know, he's taken me to the airport a couple times when I've gone to pick up my car. It's usually an annual trip now. You know, he's like, hey, I woke up this morning and my car had 5 more horsepower or something like that, you know, and it's crazy to think about that, because it's like, you know, overnight it can just like change. So, but you've had that now. You've had your Tesla for what, 3 years?
Gosh,
4 years?
Got it in 2019, just barely cracked 15,000 miles on it, so haven't really driven it a ton.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no regrets.
Do you, because like all the auto manufacturers today are like, hey, we're all in on electric. We're not going to continue to build internal combustion engine cars like in a few years. But like, do you feel like there's still going to be a place for like both worlds, or do you think it's literally just going to go, we're all driving vacuum cleaners around?
Man, you know, here's a shout out to Kirby's, but I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I think what Elon proved is that it's really hard to do this.
Yeah.
But what he also did is he invested in at a time when maybe just everybody else didn't think it was here yet.
Yeah.
And I think he did the hard part and got us here. But now I think we're looking at a lot of legacy auto manufacturers trying to figure out how to modernize. And you've got this existing base of buyers that you've got to cater to, and that's who's paying you. But you got to figure out how to adapt. So I think, yes, a gradual transition. I mean, it's just like in technology, right? Where we think one technology is going to take over and the other one's still there for 10, 15 years past when anybody said. I don't think this is going to be that much different, but I mean, who knows? Look at the world economic stuff, and that could change things.
It'll be interesting to kind of see. I mean, like, because what I tell people, I mean, I'm not on the electric movement yet, just because I like manual transmissions and I like sound. Frankly, I'd love to marry the two technologies together, you know, like, use an electric motor, you know, and be able to still shift gears. That's just what I like. But, you know, I've even heard like Dodge's CEO basically say like, this is hard, because like, if you were to ask me, like, if I had to go buy an electric car today, like Dodge is rolling out their electric muscle car, and all these other manufacturers are saying, hey, we're going electric. There is no way under the sun, if I had to buy an electric car, that I would go buy from one of those manufacturers. I would go straight to Tesla, because they've ironed out a lot of the bugs, the kinks, and everything. And I just think there's so many, I think it's going to put some manufacturers out of business, to be honest.
I agree. It seems like Ford, out of anybody, is kind of got it figured out. Because you look at any great technology change has just been a slight iteration on something before, right? And not, you know, there's been plenty of stuff that's been a monumental, you know, new thing that we didn't know that we needed, but everything else has just been kind of iterative.
Yep.
And so I think you have to look at this in that cycle, because, geez, I'm not going to make my base of buyers of America's greatest selling truck of all time instantly become electric fans. It can't look like this crazy thing from the future, because that's not who those people are.
Yep.
But if you modernize what's under the hood, you add a little tech, you do it slow and steady, then, you know, the everyday American that likes a truck goes, wow, it still looks pretty cool. All right, it's got a little tech in it. Yeah, I'll check it out. Well, I think that's how you got to shift it. You got to iterate.
Well, and I think that's what made Tesla so successful, is they actually made their electric cars look sexy. They look good, you know, whereas like electric cars before looked like, you know, something from a Star Wars movie, you know. Stupid. And like if it's cool, if it's sexy, make it look that way, you know. And I think that's what why should you
not love something that you're in every single day? Why should you pay all this money and not love the crap out of what you have? That's why you have this. Like, you just if you're going to be in it, why not? And so it's been crazy that nobody could figure it out up until that point, and now it's like, oh my gosh, we got to put our R&D plan up 10 years ahead of schedule to catch up. Yep.
So what are your thoughts, man? Final thoughts. What do you like about the car? What do you not like about the car?
I mean, there really isn't anything that I don't like. I would say that I like it more than I expected to like it. It does get you definitely get more connected back onto the road. The exhaust just crushes it for me. I love that. I worry about how many for getting pulled over, and I just haven't paid attention. But
they've been following us for a few miles. Don't worry about it.